Well, what an exciting bunch of, I feel like I say what an exciting bunch of games from the first half of insert whatever week here. I don't know, has it really been that exciting? Are you excited?
No, man. The Bears suck.
Yeah.
Mitch Trubisky sucks. Like, that's just, I cannot. I mean, how do you not convert? I mean, and good on the positive side of things, like, I guess Matt Nagy's like giving David Montgomery opportunities.
Yeah, he has 12 carries for 85 yards. He ripped off a 55-yard run where he was looking up at the Jumbotron like, let me...
To make sure no one was trailing him. That's allowed.
Or to be like, hey, look at how good I look running that ball.
No, that's not why. That's not who he is. He's an Eagle Scout. He's just trying to be prepared. But not converting on the goal line when you got 3 tight ends out on the damn field is a problem.
Well, the Bears have had 3 possessions inside the 10-yard line in the first half and have 9 points to show for it. They've held the ball for almost 20 minutes in the first half. They've been dominating the time of possession in what is many have come to call the bounce back running back bowl.
Bounce backs bowl.
Oh.
Get it?
Very well done.
Because Melvin Gordon, he found the end zone. It was not pretty. I thought the Bears defenders were going to pull him back, but
also, I don't know, maybe this is like they might have really come into this with the plan of like, this is Melvin Gordon's get-right game because he has 7 carries for 29 yards in that touchdown. Austin Eckler, no carries on the ground and 1 catch for 8 yards.
Interesting because we did see reports that Melvin Gordon is on the trading block, and so if you were going to showcase him, maybe give him all of the opportunities, though of course that means you're risking him potentially getting hurt, especially at such a volatile position. But I think this is just evidence of not only the Chargers wanting to move Gordon, desperately move him, but also maybe save Eckler.
I think that is very possible. I'm interested in just this whole passing game, right? Like for
we're talking more about this dang game?
No, not.
Okay.
You know what? You're right. Let's move on.
Well, you're talking about Keenan Allen and how like he was banged up, but still seeing.
I think the Chargers passing game just looks really it's looked disjointed when we've seen it. I know Phillip Rivers was chirping at Anthony Lynn on the sideline, so I don't know. I thought that was minorly fascinating, but you're right. It's not. Let's move on. I asked people on Twitter never mind. I asked people on Twitter what they were upset about, what looked like the wrong decision that
wrong lineup decision that they made.
Lineup. Well, you can talk about. I mean, I could have I said, what was your wrong Week 8 decision? You could have said what you ate for breakfast was a wrong decision.
What you did the night before might have been a wrong decision. No judgment here.
I had green juice and went to bed early, so I'm feeling good about my decisions, quite frankly. But
private life stays private.
A lot of people are worried that they made a mistake starting Ty Johnson over Joe Mixon.
Or Ty Johnson, period.
Ty Johnson, period. Look, in the chat, we already have someone saying, I started Ty Johnson because of Yahoo. Well, here's your first big mistake, not taking accountability for your actions, you chump. All right? Your decision, not mine.
Oh, I like the way you went with that. I thought for a second you were going to go, the thing you did wrong was listening to us, but you're right. No. Take accountability. Be self-aware.
Accountability, please.
Do you know what a Trey Carson is?
Trey Carson used to play for the Packers. And
that's all I know.
Yeah. I mean, look, honestly, I really think the Lions are doing you a solid. If you picked up Ty Johnson off waivers, they're doing you a solid because they're killing your hopes softly with this Trey Carson thing before they go and trade for Kenyon Drake this week.
Ooh, that is a hot take.
It's going to happen. I mean, look, we know Kenyon Drake is not playing in this game on Monday night because they're going to trade. I think that probably means that there's already a deal been done in principle. Ian Rappaport said in his preview column this morning about trade candidates, he said that the Lions are looking for running back help because Kerryon Johnson's on IR. They view the running game as the engine of their offense.
Yeah.
I think Kenyon Drake, by Tuesday afternoon, is a member of the Detroit
Mark
Lions.
it here. I think that's a bold statement. It makes complete sense. I dig it. In terms of Week 8, though, Ty Johnson, what we did talk about in FFL was that the Giants are giving up a load of yards via the air to the running back position. And not for nothing, Ty Johnson is second in team targets here behind Danny Amendola. So how about that? He's only caught one of those balls, but it's not like he's not getting used.
Yeah, it's just not going to be like a feature back situation. And this is kind of like a longer talking point. We have a question in the chat that I really want to get to, so I'm coming to you, Todd. Don't worry. But I think this was one of those backfields that there was no clarity in, right? Like you could say, sure, like it was nice to see that, and these are the indicators you have to go off of. So I'm not like, I said it in my pickups video, I'm not throwing a shade to any analyst who said it. But yeah, Ty Johnson got 10 carries, 14 targets, four catches, 4 targets. Great.
Converted all of them, 10
Last
carries.
week when Kerryon Johnson got hurt. But like you can't take that and then immediately assume now you have a starting fantasy asset. Like you had to play him in DFS because he was so cheap, but you could still debate him with plenty of players in season long. And I don't think, and I mean I did it. I'm a jackass that went and picked him up and blew a bunch of free agent money on him. But it is what it is. Like this is one of those backfields. There was no clarity. This wasn't like an Alexander Madison behind Dalvin Cook sort of situation.
Well, and we've never had clarity behind Kerryon. Remember when we opened the season, we were also worried about C.J. Anderson, right?
Yeah.
And then Paul Perkins was added. And so I think you make a good point, but also y'all need to start running backs. So we threw a dart, and the data at our disposal was what we had.
Yeah, and also, by the way, like, I don't think you or I were either like, must start Ty Johnson. So get out of my face with this. Anyways, let's move on to
You can chirp, though. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Release your anger somewhere healthy. It's fine if it's us. It doesn't bother me.
We're just going to chirp back at you because it's fun.
What did Todd?
Now, so Todd asks us, hey, Matt and Liz, that's us, please help. Should I play Nick Chubb or Aaron Jones? And you could tell this is kind of a tough question because we're looking at the responses we have too. Someone replied, you got to go with Nick Chubb. Another person said, you got to play Aaron Jones. Someone noted about Aaron Jones' matchup. So here's the deal. Who do we like more? I think I'm going Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
Against Chiefs' bad run defense. I think you can trust Nick Chubb for a bigger workload because if you want to talk about engines of their offense, he's been the one only consistent factor in this Browns
When the
offense.
Browns win, it's because they've been able to get Nick Chubb going.
Exactly.
But what do we know about the Patriots?
They want to stop what you do best.
And I think people assume that's going to be OBJ, but the Browns don't do OBJ best.
Not at the current moment. I think they could easily I think they'll stick Stephon Gilmore on him one-on-one, and I think, Beckham, look, sometimes.
I don't think he's going to see, bracket coverage, though.
No,
OBJ.
I think they'll just stick him one-on-one, and then they'll try to maybe stack the box or whatever, I think you see this a lot with the Patriots is they don't really, and I mean, I think double coverage doesn't happen nearly as, I know double coverage does not happen nearly as often as most people, we talk about it because I've watched the damn games enough, but I don't think that the Patriots especially, they'll often with the number one guy, just stick Gilmore on him and then try to double your second threat. Because if you're going to bracket coverage.
They're not worried about Jarvis
and I don't
Landry.
They're not worried
They
about
do not care
Jarvis
about Jarvis Landry.
Yeah. But it just in a general sense, you do see them do that sometimes. I want to get to another question off that same line, that Kansas City Chiefs run defense. Ryan asked us Jamal Williams or Jalen Samuels. Now, assuming Jalen Samuels is going to play on Monday night, great matchup against the Dolphins, but I don't think you can trust his workload in the slightest.
I don't think so either. I do think I've been saying it for a while. I do think that Benny Snell has earned himself a larger role. You could see this become a three-headed hydra in Pittsburgh, trying to preserve Connor, and now Samuel maybe getting more of the passing down work, and Snell doing the early down stuff, maybe the goal line stuff to save that sort of exposure to Connor, who's struggled to stay healthy all season. I like Jamal Williams because as good as Aaron Jones has been, he's also been real bad in spots, and Matt LaFleur is not particularly decisive when choosing his running back, so it would not surprise me to see Jamal Williams vulture Aaron Jones, especially given the matchup and especially given the fact that it's not Pat Mahomes under center.
Yeah, totally. And I like Jamal Williams just as a player. I like the...
You liked him last year, too.
Yeah, I like the involvement that he's had in the offense. I have to start him in a lot of spots, and I feel...
I'm starting him in the fishbowl.
I feel pretty good about it, right?
Because he could fall into the end zone?
I'd rather be dead than say that. Now, I want to talk about a development that's happening right now. I want to talk about the Eagles' offense. I want to get to their tight end situation a little bit because a couple people have asked about that. But let's talk about Miles Sanders, who is up. He has 3 carries, 74 yards, and a touchdown. He just ripped it in there. He also has 3 catches, it looks like, in this game, too. And I know I've talked about my sister wants to start damn Miles Sanders on the podcast all the time. She just sent me a text in all caps, Miles Sanders, get you some. So how exciting, Miles Sanders.
M. Harmon for
happening.
the win.
3 carries, 74 yards, like I mentioned, the touchdown. Also 3 for 44 through the air. So he's having that big day against a pretty good defense in Buffalo.
Okay.
This is, I mean.
Yes, you have outlined the facts. Yes.
And now I'm ready for you to.
Are you trying to come after me because there was a moment that you decided Jordan Howard was my boy?
No, I mean Jordan Howard is your boy. That's
He's not.
Let's be factual about it. Jordan Howard, that's your guy. You want to play him in every matchup.
I don't have any shares of Jordan Howard, for the record.
When he goes to Minnesota against a tough defense, you got to play Jordan Howard because that's your boy. But I'm intrigued that look, the workload is still light. Right? 3 carries to 10 for your boy Jordan Howard. The catches are nice to see from Miles Sanders. But I'm thinking, I wrote about this last week coming out of the games for my recap column. The Eagles are really, really lost on offense. I think they're in a tough shape because their weapons outside, I mean, Alshon Jeffrey's really not playing that well, and everyone after him is real bad. Deshaun Jackson's been like the ultimate difference
Well, he's the
maker.
Scapegoat, though, right? You've had him for 1 week, and you have you've pinned all of your hopes on a 32-year-old receiver who doesn't ever stay healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. That's what you're choosing to do. Also, I think and people aren't really, at least in fantasy circles, I think, talking about this as much, and that is that there's no trust in this offense, right? They don't like Carson Wentz. I don't know Carson Wentz. I never met the man, but I can gather with quite a bit of certainty that the players surrounding him don't like him, don't trust him. I don't know why.
I don't know either.
There have been plenty of reports,
Yep, no, I agree with you. It's comes out every year. Something comes out about that situation every year.
And so it makes sense to me then that obviously Doug Peterson would be aware that this is going on, and so wanting to lean on the run more if you cannot trust the quarterback to air it out in a way that the receivers feel comfortable or want him to.
Totally. So now I think from the football perspective, going forward in the second half of the year, I think we could really see the Eagles start to look for different answers. I think they're starting to find one in the tight end position, playing more of Ertz and Dallas Goedert, which is tilting for Ertz owners. 1 catch for 2 yards in the first half. 3 targets, 2 catches, and a touchdown for Dallas Goedert.
But we've seen this happening. This has been the second week in a row now that Goddard has found the end zone. And not for nothing. I mean, my fearless forecast on Ertz was 4 for 48, right? The matchup is really brutal.
It's about the season that he's having,
And a big game should eventually come, but it's not going to come right now in this matchup.
Yeah, and I think, like I said, I think we'll see more and more that the Eagles start to look for different answers. And I think that Miles Sanders could start to eventually be one of those answers, especially if the offensive line starts to play well. Then I think we can see that running game really be something more diverse and more special if it's Sanders back there, not your boy Jordan Howard.
He's not my boy. And if I were, I'm not owning any of these boys. Joe Mixon, I do want to talk about because he is owning the LA Rams run defense in a way that I don't think anybody anticipated. This offensive line in Cincinnati, we talked about it last week. We talked about it throughout the season. is real bad, and Mixon is having a lot of trouble. But are you surprised, Matt, at how well he is running against a Rams defense? Are you this could potentially be jet lag, across the pondness, whatever?
Yeah, they're just not on.
Also, they're coming off of like a big game where they thought maybe they found some solutions, and so they're not playing up for a team. This would be a little bit of a trap situation.
Well, Mixon's a really great.
He's fantastic.
Right?
Like evades all the tackles every week.
Yeah,
can.
he's a good player. So that's going to happen every now and again. He's going to have these big games, even in a tough situation. Although by and large, it's been a rough result for the entire season. I would just say this: I think that for the Rams, run defense has always been their weakness, right? Like, of the two, between pass defense, like pass rush, and then their run defense, under Wade Phillips, that has always been the situation. And
you get more money as a defensive player if you sack a quarterback than if you stop the run.
Exactly. And statistically, that hasn't borne out as much this year, but last year, they were up like to 4.8 yards per carry allowed. So they're just not a great run defense. So overall, I think that this is a nice thing to see for Mixon, but I wouldn't be buying into it happening every single week. But that is going to do it for us here in week 8 for our early game halftime stream. We're going to wrap it up. We're going to go have some lunch. We'll be feeling great. And sorry if you're not feeling great about your Ty Johnson decision. Actually, I'm not really sorry. I don't really care. But definitely come back and watch us again for the late game halftimes.
I care. We all make whiffs. We'll bounce back next week. And maybe in the second half.
See ya.